Hello friends! I just wanted to show you something that I've been working on the past few days. So I shared with you before when I made things out of resin, and the stuff that I made before, I made this keychain and I made some letter keychains. These were all just solid, meaning that I have a mold and I've just filled it all the way to the top with resin. This one, these I filled with resin mixed with glitter, but nonetheless, it's solid. Like this whole thing, you can drill a hole through it and the center is all resin. It's very solid. But I wanted to try making shakers. And so I had a mold, I bought a mold that makes little shaker rectangles. So it's very tiny. It's like maybe like 1 inch. But what it does is it leaves the center open. So if you fill it with resin, it just fills the sides and then the back, and it leaves the center open, and then you can put stuff in it. So I had made these rectangles a while back, but I never actually filled them because I wasn't quite sure what to fill them with. It's really interesting how people will tell me that I'm very creative, but my creativity is very limited. I'm creative in certain things, and then in other areas I get blocks and I can't figure things out. So I was never quite sure how or what I wanted to fill these with. And so they just sat there, and then a couple of days ago, like last week, I decided I wanted to try finishing the shakers. And well, if I'm gonna do it, why not JK? At first I thought, maybe cutting out little the logos. I cut out a little logo that I thought maybe could be a shaker in here, and I thought maybe like BT21 characters and stuff, but it's so small that I wasn't sure that it would come out looking very well. So instead, what I did was I print out little pictures of JK. I printed out a lot because I wasn't sure if I would make any mistakes. But I printed out a lot of little pictures, these three, of JK. I backed them on a plastic sheet. So I actually took a PC protector, those the really hard ones that don't blend very well, and I cut the size of the inside of this. And I put this on there, and then I covered this one with another clear laminating sheet because I wasn't sure that if the top of this got wet, the ink may smudge. Because I tried, what did I try? I think I tried putting resin directly on top of a sticker once, and it bled. So I put another clear transparent sheet on top of it to protect the ink. And then I put it in here and I surrounded it with resin to kind of keep it in place. And then I added baby oil, which I hear is a good liquid to put inside shakers. And I added some shaker bits. Now these, the big purple stones, and you probably can't see it, but there's little purple bars and the purple hearts. They all came in a mix. I bought something, a BTS resin mold, I think, a silicone mold, and it came with purple shaker mix. So I used that, and then I added like the silver heart. I added a little bit of glitter and some other little sequence things that I have on hand. And that's how I made it. So now I have little JK shakers. One thing I realized, again, this is my trial, so I realized a lot of things. So one thing I realized is make sure if you stick your picture in there that the top of the head is not too close to the top of your shaker, because this one is fine. When I can't hold it up and show you at the same time, but if I hold it up, you see the bubble? The bubble? It goes right up to the top. It lands right up here. And so, oh, you can kind of see it, right? Even though the bubble is at top, you can still see his face. However, these two Yeah, this one more for some reason. I think I have a bigger air bubble in this one. But these two, if you have the bubble up at the top, it covers the top of his face, like half of his face, because his face is so close to the top. This one also. And so you can't see his face clearly. It's like a distorted view. I don't like that. You have to be able to see his face really well. That, and I think because I added a thin layer of resin to hold in the picture, the shaker space is not as big, and so the fat ones, the purple, oops, the fat purple beads that I have in there, they kind of do not shake as well. They get a little bit stuck sometimes. But I like them otherwise. And I also learned I need to practice on the painting on the layer. So after you make this, you add the plastic on top to hold everything in, and then you drill a hole and you add the oil inside of it. But in order to prevent the plastic from falling off, I added a layer of resin over the top and then over the sides to kind of seal everything. And I realized it's not as easy as I thought it would be, painting the resin. So you can see, oh, I missed the spot there. Can you see that? I missed the spot. And then it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. So you can see like little wrinkles and dents. At the bottom, I was really tired when I was working on this. You can see the bottom is like kind of lumpy. It didn't smooth out. So that I have to practice on. But otherwise, I do like them. What do you think? So now I have little JK shakers. And then someone did something like these molds are intended to be shakers. So if you fill the mold, it automatically leaves the space in the middle for you to make a shaker. But then I saw someone on YouTube, she made shakers out of like a solid mold. So it's like a mold for this. So if you fill this one, it's solid. You can drill through the middle of this and it will be all resin. There's no empty space in the middle of this. So I took two halves and stuck them together. But I took this mold and I made shakers. It's kind of tricky to do. I'm still kind of figuring how to do it well. I am able to do it, but in order to be able to put them together nicely like this, you have to be able to get the resin all the way to the edge and make it a nice edge. So I'm working on that part. That part's a little bit hard to do. But this one was the first one I made. This one I made out of clear resin, and then I painted on top with a purple tinted resin to seal everything. And inside are the shaker bits and some glitter. And as you can see, the glitter sticks to the inside. I can't get them to unstick. But I'm okay with that actually. It doesn't bother me. And because I started with a clear and then a really transparent purple, you can see what's inside pretty well. So this one was the first one that I made. And then I made a couple more and they didn't work out well because again, like the edge of each half was not perfectly smooth. It wasn't straight. It was like kind of ragged, meaning that the resin didn't reach the end very well. So I had to throw those out. They didn't turn out very well. But then I thought, you know, instead of starting with a clear and painting it with purple, what if I just started with purple? And that led me to this one. Right? Yeah, this one. So you can see on this side, it's pretty clear still. It's very purpley, but it's still pretty clear. And then on this side, what I did is I have this metallic purple mica, which is really pretty. And so I painted the inside of the half circle with the purple mica, and it turns into this really pretty cloudy purple. And it is metallic. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it is very metallic and it's pretty. I like it, but I made it too much. Like I wanted it just to be like really along the edge, so it kind of filled too much. And again on the inside I added the purple shaker mix along with some other things that I have, other shaker bits like glitter and not glitter. Well, I did add glitter, but other like sequins that I had on hand. And it shakes. So after I made this one, I thought, well, what if I added the purple mica to the resin itself? And that made this one. And it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit cloudier. You can't see what's on the inside quite as well, right? I mean, you can still see it, but it's not very clear. Yeah. And so the hearts also, I do need to work on these also with the painting and sealing it well. It is sealed, so it's not going to come out, but like you can see, it's not smooth. Yeah. And I thought about, with these, I thought about putting the logo in the center. Not as a shaker, but somehow maybe gluing it to the bottom or something so that it stays in the middle, and then the shaker bits will shake around it. Does that make sense? I thought about using maybe one of JK's pictures too, like having JK floating in the middle like this, and then having the shakers kind of shake, like some in front, some behind. And I might try that. That was a little bit tricky. I did try doing it with one of the shakers, but it was really tricky to do. But I think I might try it again. This is fun to work with. I can't work on them too much though, because my room is not, it's not ventilated very well. And these are the UV resins, so they're not as toxic, but they do smell. And if I work on it too much, I get a headache, which is never a good sign. So I do it with my windows open and with the fan running and everything, so to minimize that. But I can't work on it for very long. But anyway, I just want to show you guys. I have not been working on my journal. I've been doing other stuff instead. But yeah, I thought you guys might like it. I really like my JK shakers. I bought larger molds because I want to make larger shakers. So yeah, if I get around to working on those, I'll definitely show you those as well. Okay, that's all. Bye.